part of today's lesson is continuing Chapter 3, Grammar, the phrase, and we'll begin on page 56. A prepositional phrase that modifies a noun or a pronoun is called an adjective phrase. Example, the woman in the seat next to Mr. Holt is our guest speaker. In the seat modifies the noun woman, and next to Mr. Holt modifies the noun seat. A prepositional phrase that modifies a verb, an adjective, or an adverb is called an adverb phrase. Example, during spring break, we traveled to Washington, D.C. Both prepositional phrases modify the verb traveled. Exercise A. In the following sentences, draw an arrow from each underlined prepositional phrase to the word or word it modifies. Then identify the phrase by writing above it ADJ for adjective phrase or ADV for adverb phrase. Example, on Tuesday, our science class took a field trip to the planetarium. On Tuesday modifies took, so it's an adverb phrase. To the planetarium is an adjective phrase and it modifies trip. Let's do number one together. On the first night, the hikers camped near the Salinas River. On the first night modifies camped, which is an adverb phrase. Near the Salinas River modifies camped, and it's an adverb phrase. Let's go to exercise B. Underline the two prepositional phrases in each of the following sentences. Draw an arrow from each phrase to the word or word it modifies. Then identify each phrase by writing above it ADJ for adjective phrase or ADV for adverb phrase. Example, Scott works at the pet shop in the mall. At the pet shop modifies the word works and it's an adverb phrase. In the mall modifies shop and it's an adjective phrase. Let's do number 6. Near the entrance to the cave, we discovered an old map. Near the entrance modifies discovered and it's an adverb. To the cave modifies entrance and it's an adjective phrase. Let's go on to page 57. A participle is a verb form that can be used as an adjective. Present participles end in ing. Example, the screaming fans spurred the team to victory. Screaming modifies the noun fans. Number 2, past participles usually end in d or ed. Other past participles are formed irregularly. Examples, this restaurant's specialty is grilled salmon. Grilled modifies the noun salmon. The lake appears frozen. Frozen modifies the noun lake. In the following exercise, you must underline the participle that is used as an adjective. Then draw an arrow from the participle to the word it modifies. Example, during the trial, the defendant recanted his signed confession. Signed is the participle and it modifies confession. Let's do number 1. The pacing lion made us nervous. Pacing is the participle and it modifies lion. Number 2. A part of the broken bat nearly hit the runner on third base. Broken is the participle and it modifies bat. Page 58. The participial phrase. A participial phrase is used as an adjective and it consists of a participle and any complements or modifiers the participle has. Examples, we saw Carlos playing soccer in the park. The participial phrase, which consists of the present participle playing, the direct object soccer, and the prepositional phrase in the park, modifies the noun Carlos. The crew of the space shuttle launched on Friday will repair the satellite. The participial phrase, which consists of the past participle launched and the prepositional phrase on Friday, modifies the noun space shuttle. Underline the participial phrase in each of the following sentences. Then draw an arrow to the word the phrase modifies. Example, climbing over the fence, the scout leader ripped his uniform. Climbing over the fence is the participial phrase and it modifies leader. Let's do number 1. On vacation, we stayed at an inn built in the late 18th century. Built in the late 18th century is the participial phrase and it modifies in. Number 2, working for the florist, Langston learned about many varieties of plants. Working for the florist is the participial phrase and it modifies Langston. Number 59, exercise A. In each of the following sentences, underline the participle that's used as an adjective and draw an arrow from the participle to the word it modifies. Example, soaring ticket sales made the team owners happy. Soaring is the participle and it modifies sales. Let's do number 1. The participating players gathered on the field. Participating is the participle and it modifies players. Exercise B, underline the participial phrases and draw an arrow from the phrase to the word it modifies. Example, sifted at the site, the mounds of dirt yielded pieces of pottery and glass. Let's do number 6. The archaeologist worked slowly, examining each particle of dirt carefully. Examining each particle of dirt carefully modifies archaeologist. Number 7, artifacts buried in the site were valuable. Buried in the site is the participial phrase and it modifies artifacts. Let's go to page 60. The gerund. A gerund is a verb form ending in ing that is used as a noun. Like other nouns, gerunds are used as subjects, predicate nominatives, direct objects, indirect objects, and objects of prepositions. Examples, writing requires patience. Here, writing is used as the subject. My hobby is writing. Here is the predicate nominative. And finally, I enjoy writing. What do you enjoy? Writing. Writing is the direct object. In the following exercise, underline the gerund in each of the following sentences. Then identify the function of the gerund by writing above it one of these abbreviations. S for subject, PN for predicate nominative, DO for direct object, IO for indirect object, ROP for object of a preposition. Example, jogging is an excellent aerobic exercise. Here, jogging is the subject. Let's do number 1. My favorite pastime is stargazing. Stargazing is the gerund and it's the predicate nominative. And let's do number 2. After Dad and I grew tired of shopping, we went to a movie. Shopping is the gerund and is an object of preposition. Number 3, do you enjoy fishing? Fishing is the gerund and it's a direct object. All right, page 61, the gerund phrase. A gerund phrase consists of a gerund and any modifiers or complements the gerund has. The entire phrase is used as a noun. Like other nouns, gerunds and gerund phrases are used as subjects, predicate nominatives, direct objects, indirect objects, or objects of preposition. Examples, walking briskly is a good exercise. Here, walking briskly is the gerund phrase and it's the subject. Next, how much did the mechanic charge for repairing the car? Repairing the car is the gerund phrase and it's the object of the preposition. In the following exercise, underline the gerund phrase and identify its function if it's a subject, predicate nominative, direct object, indirect object, or object of preposition. Example, he was 4 years old when he began playing golf. Playing golf is the direct object. Feeding the animals at the petting zoo was fun. Feeding the animals at the petting zoo is the gerund phrase, and here it's used as a subject. Let's do number 2. Meryl's hobby is raising tropical fish. Raising tropical fish is the gerund phrase, and here it's the predicate nominative. And number 3, the Wildcats have a good chance of becoming state champions. Becoming state champions is the gerund phrase, and here it's an object or preposition. All right, page 62 and 63 is practice for gerund and gerund phrases, and page 63 is participial and gerund phrases. Let's go to page 63. A participial phrase is used as an adjective and consists of a participle and any complements or modifiers the participle has. Example, restoring the historic home. The new owners discovered some valuable artifacts. Restoring the historic home is the participial phrase. A gerund phrase consists of a gerund and any modifiers or complement the gerund has. The entire phrase is used as a noun. Example, restoring the historic home will cost about $50,000. So in the following exercise, identify the underlying phrase by writing above it PART for participial phrase or GER for gerund phrase. Example, the dog would not stop barking at the snake. Barking at the snake is a gerund phrase. Let's do number 1. The tour guide took snapshots of us standing in front of the Aztec pyramid. Standing in front of the Aztec pyramid is a participial phrase. Number 2, raising money for new uniforms proved more difficult than the band members had expected. Raising money for new uniforms is a gerund phrase. And number 3, the scouts are looking forward to exploring the cavern. Exploring the cavern is a gerund phrase. All right, so that will conclude our grammar lesson today. We will continue tomorrow for the remainder of chapter 3 on the phrase.